Well, as usual, my pessimism has been unfounded so far. After losing to Koza in the Cup quarterfinal, it was the winter break. We didn't have any games in December. There were no friendlies scheduled. I couldn't even schedule a friendly if I wanted to. January, we had 4 friendlies, and then in February, we had 1 friendly that I played a really rotated side on, and we lost. We thumped everyone else in the others, and then we got back to league play, and we absolutely dominated Macedonia. Macedonia? Yeah, I'm saying Macedonia. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Of course, it didn't help that they had a player sent off in the 41st minute, but Andonovsky had a hat trick worth of goals. Maradi had a hat trick worth of goals. Glisic had a hat trick worth of goals. And then against Striga, we beat them 2-1. Andonovsky a goal and Nikolov a goal. And then against Shkupi, we tied 2-2. Vardar a goal and a Boz a goal just before the half. We couldn't really get anything done in the second half. This, we had a really large home crowd for, and I don't know why. It's been a couple days since I sat down and opened up the save again. I don't think it was a fan day. I want to say it was because it was televised and because they brought a decent amount of away fans. Currently, for the moment, we're in first place, 55 points, 17 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses, 59 goals for, 24 goals against. Fadic leads us with 15 goals. Maradi leads us with a 7.36 rating. Volkovsky and Abaz each have 11 assists. Rifi, the best pass completion rating. Got a lot of players with a lot of players in match awards. It's a good thing because we're not relying on one player to keep us in it. In 23 matches, our 59 goals scored are the best in the league. Our 24 goals allowed are 4th best. Our 27 yellow cards are 4th best. Our average attendance is 6,155. That's the best in the league. 30,000 more. Wait a minute, 28,000 more, and we'll have a full stadium. Transfer budget. We did do a transfer, and I'm probably going to end up regretting it. Bojan Ilevsky, I brought in on a free. 23 years old, can play all 3 defensive back positions. They say he's a defensive right back, but he's better at defensive center back. I needed someone I could stick on the bench and trust that he would do a job in all 3 of those positions. Now, granted, his crossing sucks. His dribbling sucks. His finishing sucks. His marking isn't the best. His heading is not bad. He's a good tackler. His jumping reach is not good, though, but he's 5'11", maybe a 7 jumping reach isn't all that bad. Physically, he could be a lot worse. He could be a lot better. This is adequate. Mentally, it's interesting. The 14 decision-making, 12 determination, 14 leadership, 13 positioning are nice. Everything else is kind of average. A 5 flare I'm not really worried about as a defensive center back. So I brought him in on a trial. I liked what I saw. He's here on 190 pounds a week. There's nothing wrong with that. Admir Hismani also came in on a free, 17 years old. Again, one of those players who can play all 3 defensive back positions. I bought him more for the future. 17 years old, 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Physically, it's interesting. His bravery's falling down by 3, and I'm not quite sure why. It could be the injury. I've seen attributes fall because of injury, but falling by 3 is a bit much. But again, 17 years old, we got plenty of time to train him up. Maybe he doesn't improve in a lot of areas I want him to improve in, but if that's the case, we're out 110 pounds for 2 years. We're out 110 pounds a week for 2 years that we have. It's not a great big deal. Georgi Jankulov from Borek for 500,000 pounds. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, 21 years old. I probably overpaid for him. Physically, he's not bad. The 6 strength is a little bit on the low side, but that's okay. Mentally, the 4 anticipation and 5 aggression could be a little bit better. The composure, everything else from composure on up is okay. Off the ball positioning are a little bit on the low side, but that's nothing to be too worried about. Now, they say he's a complete wingback. I will probably be playing him as a fullback or a wingback, not a complete wingback. Technically, for a complete wingback, he's really lacking in a couple areas. Crossing, especially, anticipation. His tackling is okay. His marking is not. I would need that marking to be a little bit higher, and I think, actually, additional focus, defensive positioning. There we go. One of my favorite phrases is solid but unspectacular. A lunch pail sort of player who comes in, knows what their job is, and goes out and does their job. He kind of fits that role, but he's really lacking in a couple of areas. The fact he's 21 years old means I've only got, at best, 1 or 2 years to get him trained up to meet his full potential. A lot of that's going to come with playing time, and simply because of the injuries we've had and the fact that I need a rotation on my defensive backline means he's going to be getting it. So whether or not he actually improves in some of his technicals and physicals beyond what he has right now remains to be seen. We are going to take a look at the spreadsheet here, but first I have to export this because I don't believe I've done it since the transfer window closed, or since before the transfer window. So print screen, Vardar, Football Manager. I do have a Vardar I've sworn I had a Vardar exports. January 23. I do have a January of 23 from the 27th. Okay, let's open that up here real quick then. Because when I originally exported this, I had the wrong dates on it. Yeah, I have. Let me pull this over here real quick. Close that one out because that is for a different save. And here we go. A couple of players have really improved. In particular, Philip Andonovsky. Ivan Nikolaev has improved. You know what? We're going to go over here. I've got it sorted by age. So the 16-year-olds and stuff like that where they're falling off by one, I'm not overly worried about that. It's if they don't start bouncing back from that, that's when I'm going to get worried. The biggest improvement across the board has got to be Milan Batic. I mean, some of the areas he's come up in have not been integral to his game, like a free kick taking went from 8 to 10. But, you know, the 10 first touch is nice. The 13 technical, 12 anticipation, 14 composure. Let's see, 14 determination, 16 flair, 13 off the ball. His 6 strength is a little bit is nice. I wish his acceleration and agility and maybe his pace in that would go up a little bit. The other player, as I mentioned earlier, who's had a lot of improvement has been Philip Andonovsky. Playing in the defensive center back position has really, or rather, the other player who's really had a lot of improvement is Phil Andonovsky. Playing as the ball-winning defensive midfielder has really improved his game, especially at a mental level. He's gone up +2 in 4 categories there and +1 in 2 others. And then his technicals, he's gone up +1 in 4 areas. Now, granted, he hasn't improved in a lot of areas I would like him to improve. The fact his dribbling went from a 2 to a 3 is great. But the fact his corners, his free throw taking, and his penalty kick taking also went up really don't help me or help him as a ball-winning midfielder. We did have one player fall off a little bit. Christian Stevanovsky fell off in bravery -2. That happened when he got injured. I believe he got injured going up for a header, and I think I've seen that before where the bravery falls when they've gone up getting injured for a header. They tend to be less aggressive when going up and going after the ball, which is interesting because his bravery fell, but his aggression hasn't. So, I mean, take from that what you will. The other thing to pay attention to is take a look at where a lot of the players are improving. They're improving in their anticipation. They're improving in their composure. Decision-making has also gone up. A few improvements in flair, a few improvements in leadership. Off the ball, a decent amount of improvements there. A couple players have fallen off, but they're a little bit on the younger side, and they're kind of balanced out by the fact that players like Vardar have gone up by +2. The other areas where we've really seen improvements is strength and stamina, which makes sense because we've been training strength and endurance. So if we can get those raised up a little bit, then we can start concentrating on the technicals as well. The thing to pay attention to is if these keep falling. Now, the way to do that is I'm going to copy this here, and we are going to go to this page here. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste Steven Stevanovsky in. We're just going to delete this stuff out here. And then we're going to go here, and we're going to go... And I do not have the conditional formatting for this set. I know I've shown this in the past on the other spreadsheet, but if you look, this goes from 5 to 4. So that should show up as a yellow. This goes from 6 to 5. That should show up as a yellow. 8 to 7 should show up as a yellow. 3 to 2, 8 to 7, 5 to 4, 5 to 4. And then his improvements, if he had any, and it looks like he doesn't. Holy cow, is he really falling off? But he's also an older player too, isn't he? Did I click the wrong one? No, he's 16. Why is he falling off so much? You know, but another one to look at would be Philip Andonovsky. He's been here since the beginning. So if we go back over here and we type this in, it's January 23. Yeah, so that's going to be the last one. So he's gone from 3 to 4 there, 2 to 3 there, 4 to 5 there, 5 to 6 there, 7 to 8 there, 3 to 4, 10 to 13, a plus 3 improvement in his anticipation, 14 to 15. You know, I'm going to pause this here and get the conditional formatting on so I can show you what that looks like. It's going to give us a 1. And if I drag this all the way across, it's going to tell us what his improvement has been since we've started tracking his training. So, and this is also a good idea. This is also a good indicator as to when they might be topping out in an area. As an example, if we choose Matic, or if we choose Vardar, rather, we go back here. So he's really come up in a few areas, but what I'm interested in is his mentals and his physicals for the moment. Now, I haven't been training acceleration and agility on him as much as I have the others. I've also been concentrating a little bit more on some of his technicals. But like, say, for example, I keep training something that's going to be affecting his technicals, like his first touch, and it just doesn't change. And that's with me specifically training something that will affect his first touch. If it doesn't go up, his first touch is probably going to top out at a 10 or 11. So it's probably not worth it to keep training him in that area. Maybe focus it on something else like passing or something like that. So the other thing we can kind of do is we can go up here and say, this was Vardar. This was Vardar in August of 21. And this is Vardar in January of 23. So as you can see, he has improved a little bit. His defending has gone down, but that's to be expected because I haven't done anything as defending. And essentially, we have the same results here that we have down here, just shown in a slightly different form. And then this one here, I believe I had it set up if I wanted to compare somebody. Yeah, let me check something out here real quick. So if I go back and I choose, as an example, Nikolaev. It's been a while since I've played actually with this with this part of the. Yeah, so that's if I want to compare the two players. If I want to compare two players side by side, so that's Nikolaev. And actually, if I minus this just a little bit, as you see, those are his attributes in August of 21. Those are his attributes in January of 23, and over here as well. And I did have it set up to where, if you wanted to, if you do this. If I remember correctly, if you do this, go here, and you change this like also to August of 21, you get the player comparison between the two. So this comes in handy when you have two players and you also want to see kind of what they're looking at. Now, this here isn't a comparison. This is something I was working on actually. And I need another column of numbers down below here to show the differences when you're doing a comparison like this. So this comes in handy. I find this comes in handy for training, especially when you're looking at this and you say, okay, I want his dribbling to come up and I want his finishing to come up. I'm going to focus on training him in those areas that are going to improve that. And if you train them on there for like a year and they don't come up, chances are they're not improving. I doubt his finishing would get higher than a 16. It's possible, but I doubt it. At the same time, stuff like this, I wouldn't train him specifically on. I would start training him specifically on things like position and passing and things like that, because dribbling and first touch and stuff like that can be taken care of with the weekly training. I think that's something I would have to go back and double check. And to be honest, it's been a while since I've done that. At one point in time, I had a spreadsheet that covered all that stuff, and I don't know what happened to it. So it's one of those things I'm going to have to investigate a little bit further. So we'll take everything I just said with regards to the training and stuff like that with a grain of salt. But, if that does prove to be the case, we'll see it here in the next couple of spreadsheets. And if that doesn't prove to be the case, we'll also see it here in the next couple of spreadsheets. So having done all that, we're just going to do the one game today. We're going to play Academia. Well, okay, it is going to be a long episode because it's going to be Academia Pandev, and we have a derby against Rabotniki. So Pandev is currently 3rd. Rabotniki's 8th. They've kind of fallen off a bit, but I want to play both games. I wasn't expecting to spend that much time on the spreadsheet, but I'm glad we did. It kind of shows you what I'm looking at. And if you see anything wrong or you think you see any improvements, let me know. Well, this came in handy because Glisic is injured and he's out 3 to 6 weeks. His backup, Stepanovsky, is also injured and he's out 3 to 5 weeks. So if we do the quick pick here, it's going to put Jankelov there as the complete wing back. I'm not going to make him I'm going to make him a wing back on automatic. So the next question is, Let me take the unavailables out here. You know, we're going to get Vaj on and get him some starting time. He's really improved since, doesn't look like it, but he has. He's left-footed. Does he like to play on the left side? No side preference, but he's left-footed, so we'll keep him on the left side there. So this is what we're looking at. We got Kasevsky in goal, Sikarsky, Vaj, Masevsky, and Jankulov as the defensive back four. Andonovsky as the midfielder. Murati and Nikolov as the attacking midfielders. Abaz and Jovanovski as the wingers. And Badic up top as the strikers. Okay, I've got Masevsky on the bench to replace Andonovsky. I got Rifi to replace any one of the defensive center backs. Taipi can replace any one of the midfielders. Grosinovsky can replace him. Bozhny-Ilevsky can come and replace him. Velkovsky can play left and right. I don't need Murkoff. I need Besar Gajufi for a good game. My pessimism has gotten the worst of me the past couple of saves. Even when I was playing Palace and we were doing really well, I thought for sure we were going to get relegated a couple of times. I don't know if that's just an inherent distrust in Football Manager and getting FM'd a lot, or if it's just me being pessimistic because it's easier sometimes. Matovsky sends it in. Matrevsky can't get a handle on it. Was he fouled? Oh, Murati handballed it. Come on, Kasevsky. Nope. Nuts. Really didn't want to see that highlight again, so we just skipped it. Jankulov. I don't know what that was, but Romario picks it up for Pandev. Oh, Thiago. Petrovsky. He was offsides. Kasevsky, a very nice save. We did get a preview on our youth intake, and it says we have a really good goalkeeper prospect, which is cool because I got a couple young goalkeepers on the bench I'm going to have to start trying out because I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to, A, hold on to Kasevsky, and B, how much longer he's going to keep staying in this form because he is a little bit on the older side. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 with two defensive mids. Jankulov heads that away. Badic picks the ball up. Back to Jankulov. Andonovsky. Masevsky. Jankulov. Masevsky. Nikolaev. Jankulov. Masevsky. Oh, look, all the way back to Kasevsky. Sikarsky. Abaz. Murati. When did he pick up a yellow? Sikarsky. Centers it to Andonovsky. Back to Masevsky. Vaj. Sikarsky. Nice ball movement. Be nice if we actually dribbled a little bit. Murati sends it over for Jovanovski. He centers it in. Murati's there, but he heads it over the crossbar. It was a good cross. We're not doing much in terms of, we're going to go to the attack. We'll stay on the attack the second half. 3 minutes into the half. 3 minutes left in the first half is not the best time to do that, but Vaj. Nice pass to Abaz. He centers, he crosses it, but there's no one there. Jovanovski, Jankulov. Gives it away, but Masevsky ends up with it. Back to Jankulov. He cuts inside, gets the ball at Nikolaev, Andonovsky, Murati, Badic, and he skies it. He sent that thing to low Earth orbit for crying out loud. Hazanovic to Morong. He backheels it to Hazanovic, Sarkovsky. Andonovsky. Well, that was Andonovsky guarding Hazanovic. Matrovsky's there. Kasevsky, a very nice block. He's been key to the fact that we're winning as many games as we have been. Matrovsky knocked away. Morong's going to run it down. Petrevsky somehow managed to avoid the defender there, but okay. And that is the highlight. Pandev is absolutely bossing us. 8 shots, 6 on target, a 1.9 XG. We've had 4 shots, none on target. We simply have to be better. We're going to stay on the attack. We'll keep... Oh, good grief. Abaz and Badic are both not having good games. Abaz crosses in. Jovanovski's there. Can't get the header. It hits the crossbar, I believe. That or the keeper got a hand on it. We've got too many guys having subpar games. Okay, it's 60 minutes in. We're going to take off Abaz and bring on Gajufi. We're going to take off Vardar and bring on Grosinovsky. He's just not having a good game. It happens. He was kind of due. Petrosky. Man. Freaking Thiago gets a goal off the set piece. Two defenders on either side of him still manages to get past a diving Kasevsky and whoever I had on the near post, who stood there like his feet were made of stone. Romario bombs it forward. Thiago heads it down to Sarkowski. He gets it wrong. Out to Hasnovic. Mitrevsky to Thiago. Sarkowski back to Mitrevsky. Morong to Domosky. Headed away. Jovanovski gets the ball. Gets it back to Jankulov. Jankulov driving forward. Sends it back to Misevsky. Over to Nikolaev. Jovanovski. Nikolaev. Misevsky to Andonovsky. Nikolaev. Up for Jankulov. Got help. Crosses it. And Misevsky is there. A very nice goal. His third of the season. A very good cross. A nice pass by Nikolaev to get it over the defenders. Nice first touch by Jankulov, all things considered. And a very nice pass. Not a lot the keeper could do about that. So we get one back. We got 12 minutes left. We'll stay on the attack, see what happens. Looks like a whole lot of nothing. Well, never say that. Hans Danovic. Morong, Mitrevsky. Back to Borak. He sends it back to Romario, who bombs it forward. Dimitrov is there, but he can't get a header on it. Andonovsky is fouled. Domosky's off. We got 4 minutes of extra time. It's not going to help us. And that is full time. Well, from a statistical point of view, it looks really even, but it really wasn't. We had 12 shots, 4 on target. They're 13 and 8. Their XG was 2.23. We had a slight possession advantage. They completed more passes. They won more tackles. They dominated us in the air. Oh, it was just not good. Save this here real quick. Then we've got Rabotniki coming up in the derby. That should be fun. What a horrible, horrible game. The good news is we're far enough ahead that it's not really hurting us, but at the same time, that's just annoying as heck. So, we'll be back with Rabotniki in just a bit. Well, this is what we're looking at. Gasevsky in goal, Sakarski, Vaj, Misevsky, and Jankulov is the defensive back four. Misevsky is the defensive midfielder behind Marati and Nikolaev. Abaz and Velkovsky is the attack midfielders. Vadic up top is the strikers. And we got Andonovsky, Gajufi, Taipi, Grozdanovsky, Ivanov, Ilievsky, and Partolko on the bench. And somehow the opposition instructions didn't get set. Let's sort. And see, it's interesting because if you look at them now, the uniforms are fine, but I can almost guarantee you when we get to the field, there's going to be one guy who's in white because it's a render issue. Oh, nice pass. And Mustafa, very nice save. Desperation save, really, but it worked. We're the visiting team here, which is interesting because we're in our home uniforms. Sakarski to Marati. Feeds a boss. He feeds Vadic. And again, Mustafa got in front of the ball. Corner kick. Abaz sends it in. Misevsky's there. His second goal of the season. Well done. We've done really well with set-piece goals this save so far. I'm quite happy with that. And Sakarski picked up a yellow. Okay. Abaz sends it in again. Knocked away. Sakarski. Nikolaev. Back out to Abaz. Abaz. Oh, wow. What a shot. Abaz just absolutely hammered that home. Mustafa had no chance. It almost looked like he got out of the way just to not get himself hurt. Djordjevic headed it away. Sakarski to Nikolaev, who one-tapped it over to Abaz. Okay, I may have been exaggerating on the Mustafa getting out of the way, but man, it slowed down. It looked like he did not react at all. Chapanovsky rounds the defender, gives the ball away. Misevsky just bangs it forward, but Djordjevic is going to pick it up. Stoyanovsky to Marinovic, to Lazevsky, to Pini. Wow, Stanislav Alec. I may have pronounced that right the first try, and I'll never pronounce it right again. Marinovic, and he skies his effort. Where the heck is the crowd? It says 7,300. We ground share this stadium with Rabotniki. You'd think there'd be at least twice that many fans there. Abaz. To Murati. Drops it off to Vadic. Misevsky. Volkovsky. Got help. Jankelov. Back to Vilsevsky. Volkovsky, rather. Jankelov. Nikolov. Misevsky. Murati. Oh, off the post. And he was offsides. Still, it was a nice effort. And that is halftime. 13 shots, 8 on target for us, 6 and 2 for Rabotniki. Everybody's having a decent game so far, except for Velkovsky. He's on a 6-5. That's mildly concerning. Almarovic up to Trapanovsky. Back to Almarovic. Tarasso. Stanislavic. Murati gets the ball off the air and header. Abaz. Sikarsky. Back to Vaj. Vaj feeds Vadic. He turns around, gets to Velkovsky. Velkovsky to Misevsky. He feeds Velkovsky. And Mustafa blocks it, goes right to Abaz. Murati's there, but Jordovic gets in front of it. Misevsky steals the ball from Pini. Vaj. Up to Abaz. Murati. Vadic. Oh, his effort was blocked. You get it back, though. Abaz. He's fouled by Stoyanovsky. Is Misevsky going to try from distance? No, he's going to bounce it off the wall. Stoyanovsky heads us up to Almarovic. Driving forward, holds it up. Stanislavic, and that's the highlight. That's an interesting place to have a highlight. Misevsky again, just a bit too high. Abaz sends it in. Misevsky, just wide right. Jankelov to Nikolaev. Jankelov crosses it too far. Abaz is going to run down the header, though. One would hope. Centers it to Misevsky. Nikolaev. Oh, Murati. And he hits the post. Vadic to Murati again, and he hits a defender. Murati has just had no luck this game so far. Dvordyvek, wow, he crane kicks that away. 60 minutes in, we're going to make a couple of changes. We need to get Sikarsky off, so we'll bring on Ilyevsky. Volkovsky's not having a good match, so we are going to bring on Portalo. And that is all we're going to do for the time being. Save our last sub here. So I shout some encouragement to the guys, and they're all frustrated or uninterested now. What the heck, people? Mustafa bombs it forward. Vaj to Misevsky. Back to Vaj to Misevsky. Nikolaev. Portalko. He feeds Vadic. Vadic turns around, toes it up for Murati, and he scores. 5th time's the charm. It seems like it's the 5th attempt this game he's tried to score. His 12th of the season. So Vadic is in double-digit goals. Murati's in double-digit goals. Abaz is in double-digit goals. I think Abaz has 11. We'll check it out after the match. But that, to me, is the sign of a well-rounded team. And I think we've all fallen into this trap before, where we find, like, the Wonder Kid striker, the Wonder Kid winger, or something like that. And, like, your entire offense flows through him, and he gets 33 goals or whatnot. And then, you know, you're setting up for the season, and he goes out. You got no one to replace him. And that was absolute domination. 3-0. Misevsky a goal, Abaz a goal, Murati a goal. 31 shots, 15 on target. Beat him in tackles. Didn't win in headers, though. That's a little interesting. And it was raining at the end. I didn't notice that. I noticed it when it went to the 3D shot of the stadium. There. And now it's raining. So we're going to save this real quick. Looks like Pandev lost, so they're down in 3rd. Let's go through this real quick. Oh, it's our youth intake. I missed this. Okay, let's see what we got. This is going to be a really long episode, but it'll be worth it. Wow. 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 Holy cow. Elite talents. Okay, Sasko Ivanov. If we compare him to Gosevsky already. Wow. Totally going to approach to sign. Finalize promises. Negotiate contract. 3 years. You know, I'm going to bump up your salary, and I'm going to add an optional contract extension of 1 year. Alexander Ilyeski, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, winger on the right. Physically, wow, that's okay. The strength of 2 is just disconcerting, but everything else is nice. Mentally, anticipation of, we can work on that though. Technically, 7 crossing, 10 dribbling, 7 first touch, 7 passing, 12 technique. That's actually, for a youth intake kid, 3 years. We're gonna bump it up, add a clause. Boban Tasevsky, central midfielder, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Man, this guy could be the best of the bunch. At 15 years old, he's already this well-rounded. Okay, his media handling is a little bit disconcerting, but still. This is not a bad starting point. Holy cow. Okay. Approach to sign. Finalize promises. Negotiate the contract. No, we want you full-time. 150. Add bonus. Appearance fee. Add bonus. This bonus. Add bonus. 15, that works. Add clause. Okay. Salary after reaching 10 games goes to 200. Add clause. Salary after reaching 30 games goes to 350. Add clause. Contract extension, 1 year. Just terms. Totally on board with that. Next, Pepe Alioski, 1.5 star current ability, 4-star potential ability, attacking mid. Balance of 4 is a bummer. The strength's a bummer. Concentration's a bummer. Only first touch is nice, though. The passing's nice. 16 teamwork, 13 work rate, 14 decision making, 16 aggression. Okay, we're totally signing him too. Alexander Nikolevsky, a midfielder on the right. 1-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. You know, we're just going to look at him, and if... Oh, wow. Physically, he's already that good. Okay, we'll come back and sign him later. I just want to look at some of these others before I call this an episode. Alexander Nikolovsky. A little bit better. A lot of wingers. James Stoyanovsky. Center back. Take a look at this guy here. Dejan Andonovsky. These low strength guys are absolutely bugging me, but again, that's not bad. So, you know what? We're going to save this. A really good game against Rabotniki, a not very good game against Pandev. Still sees us in first place. I believe we've already qualified for European football because down to 4th spot gets European football. This youth intake, though, is really, really good. It's going to take me a while to get through it and grade all the players out because I got to do some further investigations. Now, granted, there's going to be some players here who we probably won't keep, but even then, you know, Milan Stojanovic, you know, okay. We'll just have to take a look and see. I mean, it's worth keeping him until he's maybe 18, 19. So, wow. What I also need to do is go scout out like Academic of Pandev and see if they got anybody worth taking and if I can poach them. So, that's what we're going to do. So, a good episode, a long episode. I apologize for that, but we got a lot accomplished. We looked at the squad. We looked at some player comparisons. We had a really good game and a not so good game. We had a really good youth intake. All things considered, this is a good youth intake. So that said, if you did like what you see in the book, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. I'd be interested in your feedback on the youth intake and the spreadsheets. Anything you have to suggest with regards to training and stuff like that, I am very interested in hearing. My name is FM22. I thank you for watching.